Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, rather had fun.
All right. Did you guys see Leia's interview? She had two interesting suggestions.
I think I saw some headlines, but why don't you walk us through it?
All I know is that she said we should change the ball to be not as dangerous, and more interestingly, switch to drop serve only because there's too much discrepancy in what is illegal versus illegal serve.
Connor, I'll let you go first.
I think Zane's trying to think about how to get his chainsaw serve into this one.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Bring back the chainsaw, but obviously.
Yeah, I mean, drop serve, sure, solves the problem for 6 months. And then people are going to, how high are you going to drop the ball? Like, there's no way that you can police everything. And so, in theory, sure, like, there's that. But I'm also of the opinion, like, now other people are getting better serves. I need to step up my serve. And so I like the challenge, and I'm probably not going to be flirting with that borderline. But if some people are, like, if they've found a way that they feel comfortable hitting that serve, like, it is what it is. So, I mean, I think whatever the rules are, just find the way to get as much out of it for yourself as you can. And changing the ball, you'll adapt. But I like the Dura. I like fast pace. I'm not the guy that dinks for 6 hours, shockingly. So, I'm for that. But you make do with what you got, and you can find a way to win in any way. So that's the overarching theme.
Yeah, I think generally, I think we have more interesting points with the Franklin. Obviously, it is certainly slower, right? But one of the things we've discussed is since the Dura is so fast, in certain conditions, if you take the wrong attack, it's just going to get shoved down your throat. So I actually think that players are a little bit more liberal with their attacks when using a Franklin ball because the counter isn't nearly as scary. You can bail yourself out a couple shots later. So I actually think that a slower ball like the Franklin can actually lead to more offense and more elongated firefights, which I think is which at least if our goal is entertainment for the fans, I think that's what people want to see. In terms of the serve, I think we need an overall objective for the serve, meaning like, is the serve something that you should use to get an advantage and people are going to try and use, or is it simply to start the point? When the chainsaw was banned, basically the rationale from the USA Pickleball Rules Committee was that the serve should not be used as an advantage at the start of the point.
Mhm.
I have plenty of issues with that
Right,
wording,
that logic, yeah.
but every shot you're going to look to get an advantage for. I mean, maybe there's different wording that they could have used, but we need to figure out what we want with the serve. Do we want serves to be a weapon, or do we want serves to be not a weapon? You're going to attempt to weaponize any shot that you're going to hit. So I do think that the out of the air serve is a completely broken rule. And actually there's 3 rules. So the 3 elements of the serve rule are you have to make contact below the level of your waist. Most referees think of that as an imaginary belly button for a person. Belly button is not written in the rules, but that's how referees
How
are
do you police that, right? Like,
You don't
yeah,
police
it's
that.
just
Your paddle needs to be moving in an upwards direction at the point of contact when you strike the ball. How many times have you seen a post on Facebook? Is this a legal serve? It looks like he's swinging down.
mhm.
You can't tell. You can't tell whether somebody is swinging upwards at the point of contact. If in obvious circumstances, when somebody chops straight down or swings straight up, yes, you can. You can see that. On the borderline, there's way too much gray area. And then finally, the top part of the paddle head has to be below the level of your wrist. You can't see that in real time either. So I
Right.
think all 3 elements of the service rule currently are broken.
Yeah.
If you do switch to a drop serve only, you only have to police one thing, meaning like you have to just make sure that the person isn't throwing the ball down or
Mhm.
throwing the ball up. And that's the only thing that a referee really needs to look at. So, and then after that, once it hits the ground, you can swing however you want. Doesn't matter whether you're swinging down, up, left, right, whatever. So, I mean, I think a drop serve only just takes the subjectivity of it out of it. I mean, like, Tyson's serving from his freaking nipples, dude. And like, people are gonna follow suit. And the players aren't getting called for it. It's subjective, and I think I'm not a fan of subjective rules. So I vote very strongly to eliminate the doubt and go to drop serve only.
I did not see this coming. I didn't think you were going to be an advocate of drop serve.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just thought you're typically the one who wants to innovate and loosen the rules. This is taking the opposite approach. But I guess your philosophy is if you're going to restrict some rules, then you should make it objective altogether. So there's no room for interpretation. You make it completely neutral versus nitpick, like a chainsaw.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think that whatever shot is within the rules, people are going to use to an advantage. Now, I'm less. Look, any shot's going to be a weapon, right? Serve, when you can spin it off your hands, I'm going to do that, right? When you can spin it off this hand, I'm going to do that. When you can serve it from your nipples, I'm going to do that. Same with paddles. Like, people are going to find the absolute edge of the rules. That's what pro sports is. Different conversation is what those rules should be. I don't like subjective rules and rules that can't be enforced. It's like the travel in the NBA, right? If you're not going to enforce it, is it even really a rule?
All right. Who do you remember? It was at Newport. Someone was playing Tyson McGuffin and was so pissed and like fed up with McGuffin's serve, they just started doing like overhand serves, like
Yeah, it was
blatantly.
Jay.
Yeah.
And then they played doubles together after that.
Right. Jamie put that in. We'll
Yeah,
have to
there we
track
go.
that was funny.
That was wild.
Yeah. All right. You guys know that we work with Vuori, best sponsor ever, because we constantly wear their stuff. I'm wearing my shirt right now. I've been playing in this shirt a lot, but I pretty much wear it everywhere, especially when I'm traveling. I wear those sweatpants that they have. They have a bunch of different options. I'm a big fan of the joggers, but you can go to vuori.com/thedink to get 20% off your first purchase. And enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. That's vuori.com/thedink. Discover the versatility of Vuori clothing.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, dollar has